All right, so I know you can't tell right now, but I'm sitting in my backyard. It's a lovely day. And so this is just a quick little lecture PowerPoint on education. I know I talk a lot about how you need to find what you want to do and search those things out, and it doesn't really matter on and on and on, except I think it is important for you to understand some things about what education does for you. In the budgeting exercise, I talked about an emergency fund and inevitable expenses and things like that because life's really going to throw a lot at you. And one of the things that education does is it protects you from a lot of those things, and you should know that, and that's what I'm going to show you. Okay? And so, right here just shows something pretty obvious to all of you what people make earning certain degrees. So, if you are not a high school graduate, obviously you're going to earn the least. And then a high school graduate earns a little more, some college, associates, and then if you get a bachelor's degree, you're here, master's, and doctorate, and then professional degree. So you can see, and this is nothing earth shattering. I know you probably know all this anyway, but it's good to see it in a graph. And I have some more interesting things coming up. Okay? Lifetime earnings is something else to consider. It's not just the year that you make money that matters, it's that multiplied times a life, 60 some years of working, and so on. And so you see here they're working with a high school graduate being a 1, you know, a not high school graduate makes 3/4 of that, and then it goes on and on until where you get a professional degree, you're making 3 times what someone would make as a high school graduate. Again, nothing earth shattering, but that does add up over a lifetime. Okay, here's something very important I want you to see. The biggest thing education does is it allows you opportunity. Uh, if you have a bachelor's degree or master's degree, you then can do any job you want. If you don't have those things, then you can only do jobs that don't require them, right? So it limits your opportunity. Right now, we are going to have some major economic problems in America due to the coronavirus and other things. And unemployment, they're talking about going up to 20 or 30%. It's the largest since the Great Depression. Well, who's going to be the unemployed? And you can figure that out, right? People without a high school diploma are going to be the hardest hit. And then high school diploma people, and then some college, and then AA degrees, which are what you get at community college, and bachelor's and master's. So when hard times hit economically, those with higher degrees are insulated, they're protected. And so whether you want to get one or not, it certainly helps out. Okay? And that's something that's important. You know, economic security can make you feel much better. And that's what we've been talking about, right? All right, on the other side, it just shows you the median weekly earnings. This is back in 2010. And obviously it goes back up again. One thing I want to point out, teachers complain, no offense to my people, but we complain about how little we're paid. And I'm not sure about that. I've never really complained about that. And so I want to show you where I land on the chart. Take a guess, see if you can imagine where I land. I do have a master's degree in education, and so I land right about there. I earn about $1,500 a week. At least I did back when this chart was made in about 2010, 2011. And so not too bad, right? And so there are different things that account for that. You know, we live in a higher cost of living area, so I get paid more, but things cost more, and so teachers in other areas get paid differently. All right, that's just my experience. I'm sure other teachers have different experiences. All right, welfare. That's my dog. That was Bailey. Welfare, people with less education tend to have a higher percentage of being on welfare. Lower education, less. Again, nothing earth shattering, but something to note. Here's something interesting. Those who vote, those without a college, a high school degree vote the least. Those with bachelor's degrees vote the most. What that means is that those people are making the decisions for how the country is going to run, the economics and politics and everything else. And you can imagine if they're voting for it, they're gaining the benefits as well. So if you don't get that, chances are what's happening in the country aren't going to be towards what you want or need. Interesting one, seems unrelated, but it's an interesting one. Blood donation goes up and up as you get in a higher education. Okay. Similarly, volunteerism goes up in the amount of hours based on degree of education. Now, your comment could be, well, so what? Well, psychologically, volunteering and helping out others in the community has been shown to have you have a healthier life, a happier life. And so having that degree doesn't guarantee this, obviously. These are just averages, but something to think about, right? And so they're not necessarily connected, but these statistics are these statistics. Exercise, even another one you didn't think about perhaps. The more education, the more those people exercise. Again, quality of life. If you're exercising, you're probably healthier, you're enjoying things more, and so on. And again, I want to repeat, there are various reasons for all these things. And I'm just showing you the statistics for consideration. Smoking, those with higher degrees smoke less than those with lesser degrees. Also, quality of life and health. Poverty, fairly obvious, right? Kind of the same thing we've been showing. And so, the last thing I want to talk about is the payoff over a lifetime. If you have a high school diploma only, at least in 2010-11, you'd make about $31,500. If you had an AA degree, you'd make about $9,000 more. Bachelor's about $20,000. Master's about $30,000 more per year. And that's all fine, and certainly that's a lot per year, but as I mentioned earlier, you need to also consider over a lifetime. And so look at this over a lifetime. A person with a bachelor's degree will earn almost $1 million over a lifetime than someone with a high school diploma. And if you're talking about winning the lottery and winning $1 million, everybody would jump at that. Well, you can kind of do that on your own by getting a degree. Granted, it takes 4 years, but a bachelor's degree will earn you $1 million more than others. And that's kind of like winning the lottery. Master's degree, $1.5 million. And so maybe education could be worth it, certainly to protect you, make sure you have security and protection from hard times, earning more money, and maybe winning the lottery. All right, thanks for listening. Hope all is well with everybody.